Isn't it sad that good teachers make hard topics easier to learn, but bad teachers make you feel stupid for not easily learning a hard topic? Shower thoughts. Nothing makes you feel like more of an idiot when you start choking on your own saliva when you're not even eating anything. If you put a humidifier and a dehumidifier in the same room, you could wirelessly transfer water. Eating lunch alone as a kid was torture, but getting to eat lunch alone as an adult is like a treat. It's kind of crazy that dogs eat the same thing every single day and they're just as hyped as they were the day before. I think all children deserve parents, but not all parents deserve children. When you choke on water, you failed at drinking and breathing, which is one of the two most important activities in your life. Depression is one of the most common illnesses out there, but it somehow convinces everyone that we're alone. Did you realize if you see Gordon Ramsay at a restaurant you're eating at, it's either a really good sign or a really bad sign? Shower thoughts. The myth about undercover cops that required undercover cops to disclose the fact that they're undercover cops was probably started by an undercover cop. Having kids is like having really broke best friends that think you're rich. It's sad, but it's so much easier to flirt with somebody when you're not actually attracted to them. Typing the word skepticism is like playing Pong on your keyboard. One day you'll stop getting asked what you want to be when you grow up, and instead you'll be getting asked what you wanted to be. Most straight men definitely flirt more with their homies than they do with women. One of the best feelings out there has to be when your phone is fully charged and you can actually unplug it and roll to the other side of your bed. Dog toys live a horrifying life in the Toy Story universe. A different version of you actually exists in the minds of everyone you know, so you're weird. Isn't it sad that the easiest way to maintain a good relationship with people is to limit your contact with them? Shower thoughts. Whenever you visit a couple's house, they probably have had sex on the couch you're sitting on. People hate biting into ice cream, but they don't have a problem when it comes in the form of a sandwich. You've probably done something by habit that a stranger has noticed, thought was cool, and tried to emulate. Probably one of the most recognizable boxes of all time has to be the pizza box. Chewed up food is delicious until it leaves the mouth, then it's disgusting. Lazy people constantly try their hardest to not try their hardest. Rich people basically have all the DLCs of life unlocked. The average person is very dumb and too lazy to seek out truths. And since smartphones and internet prices became more affordable, it really shows in social media. Falling asleep must be nearly effortless for people who have no inner monologue nor the ability to visualize their thoughts. Did you know that the odds of you dying tomorrow increases each day you live? Shower thoughts. Meat consumed as comfort food is also an emotional support animal. The more people talk about winning the Powerball drawing at your work, the more likely you're all underpaid and overworked. I'm sorry. There was probably a person who got his tattoo messed up by an earthquake. Seeing a door randomly move from the corner of your eye isn't concerning if you own a cat. You don't know how many Oreos is too many until you've eaten too many. At some point, you might have ruined someone else's life on accident. Most people hate pineapple on pizza when they haven't even tried it. No company has ever survived after killing 400 million of its consumers with evidence other than cigarettes. If you drive a new car, you're rich. If you drive an old car, you're poor. If you drive a really old car, you're super rich. Why is it that most guys can easily tell when a girl is flirting with their friends, but they can't tell when a girl is flirting with them? Shower thoughts. One of the biggest reliefs ever is when the police officer finally turns onto a different road after it's been following you for a while. Maybe kids suck at understanding time because when my parents say 5 minutes, it's never actually 5 minutes. If it wasn't for movies, the average person would have no idea what an elevator shaft looks like. Holidays stop being fun when you're old enough to realize you're from a low-income family and your parents stress a lot about the holidays. This hit too close to home. One of the most destructive lies that you're probably telling yourself is that everyone else has their stuff together except you. 100 years ago, we made the roads smoother so people could travel quicker, but now we have to put bumps in them to make them go slower. Tell me what you think of this. A dog's sense of smell is 1,000 times better than a human's, yet they stick their nose up another dog's butt to smell it. They just want a good whiff. Shower thoughts. Someone at some point in your life has probably seen you at your best and hoped to see you again, but never did, without you ever realizing or even knowing their very existence. It's sad that if English is your first language and you speak a second language, it's considered impressive. But if English isn't your first language and you're able to speak it well, it's mostly considered expected. www has more syllables than World Wide Web, making it a longer pronunciation. The older a movie is, the more the credits are like a memorial. There's definitely a group of people out there who think the moon actually changes sizes every night. Some random stranger has a really cool photo of you that you will never see. Be honest, randomly hearing your favorite song on the radio is more satisfying than playing it directly from your iPhone. Shower thoughts. We're only 2 decades away from conspiracy conspiracy that the Earth never had polar ice caps. Eating spicy foods is socially accepted self-harm. Powerball billionaires are probably way better for the economy than traditional billionaires. When girls are mentioned to guys, they are imagined as hot unless stated otherwise. School punishes you for skipping school by forcing you to skip more school. The Mona Lisa is one of the earliest examples of a picture going viral. One day you might look back at one of your yearbooks and notice a famous person you went to school with. And on the flip side, someone out there is the only person still alive from their high school yearbook. Isn't it funny that in the span of half a century, we went from cars that have neither cassette players nor CD players to cars that have cassette players to cars that have CD players and then back to cars that have neither. Shower thoughts. Being bald is more socially acceptable than balding. You have probably achieved a stupidly obscure world record and never realized it. We put labels on cigars and alcohol as addictive and harmful, yet we don't label anything that contains a ridiculous amount of sugar. The world population just passed 8 billion people and we're still dealing with short staffing issues. You've met more flies in your life than you've met people. Gambling is only considered an addiction if you're bad at it. You are probably still it from a game of tag that you played years ago. Why is it if you say your dog's a boy or a girl that it's fine, but if you say your dog's a man or a woman, then it's weird? Shower thoughts. It's scary how your body can replicate the feeling of falling from high altitudes in nightmares when you've never fallen like that before. Fake radio stations and video games have a bigger variety than actual radio stations do today. People would probably pay a lot more attention in college if they were given a job first and then sent to school to learn about that job. Dads probably bond with dogs so much because in our society, men don't really get a lot of attention and dogs will show you unconditional love no matter what. It's going to be a lot harder for kids to win against parents in video games in the future. Have you ever noticed when you think about anything long enough, it gets weird and makes no sense? Like staring at the word Legandis. Shower thoughts. Being selfless is actually selfish in a way because it makes us feel good. You might have walked or driven past a vehicle with a kidnapped person in it and you wouldn't have even realized. Eyelashes grow in a single line on the eye. Imagine if they covered the whole eye and you needed to shave them. The key to freedom is money, and money opens doors that even a master key can't unlock, sadly. We drink plain cold water in the summer to cool down, but we don't drink plain hot water in the winter to warm up. People love talking about themselves, but hate icebreakers where they are forced to talk about themselves. You will always be too young or too old for something. It's kind of crazy that Steve Jobs died 10 iPhones ago. Hello and shower thoughts. One day you'll have your last bite of pizza. For a large part of the population, breakfast ends at 10:30 a.m. because McDonald's said so. Animals probably think that fireworks are a thing of nature. Life was so easy and simple as a kid because we knew nothing about the dangers of the world. Scrabble could have been named Textiles. The reward for working a job you hate your whole life is a couple of years filled with declining health and misery, and you're way too old to fit in with all the new stuff. Self-driving cars will solve a lot more problems than just drunk driving. They can repo themselves, they can drop themselves off for maintenance, and they can pick up food instead of paying for delivery. Did you ever realize that the function of a lock is to turn a door into a wall? Shower thoughts. Imagine if you could have right in front of you all the money you'd spent at restaurants and gas stations, just like how much money you would have in total. For me, it'd be a lot so. Money can't buy you happiness, but it can buy you serotonin. When you smell your own fart, you're basically putting it back inside. In 50 years, there's a great chance kids can find some of their parents' profiles on OnlyFans. It's not fair that bears simultaneously look so cute, fuzzy, and cuddly and will also tear you to shreds. There's a point where everyone suddenly becomes unattractive if their pants are pulled up too high. Your elbows and knees bend in different directions.